he is a remarkable player and a two-time Pro Bowler. And I told you this year, he was my MVP, even to the very end. Matt Ryan was great, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, but I don't think any player meant more to his organization than Derek Carr, Raiders quarterback. And then he got injured. It broke my heart. And but I follow him on Twitter enough to know that he was telling me he was going to have surgery. He told me when he was having surgery, and he told me the surgery went well. So Derek's joining us. So now take my audience, Derek. First of all, thanks for coming on the show. Can you walk around? Where are you at physically right now?
Yeah. No, I'm actually in the middle of my treatment right now. We're working, man. We're getting there, and we're making progress, man. I'll be good to go here real soon.
You know, Oakland led by 20 points, middle of the fourth when you got hurt. And I have been saying this, Derek, for years and years, that guys like you are so competitive, you and Brady and the top Manning, you never want to come out of games. But do you look at it now and think to yourself, you know what, if I lead by 20 in the fourth, maybe I'm better to hit the road and just sit this one out. Is that something that now you think about?
In hindsight, looking back, obviously didn't know I was going to break my ankle, but, you look back, oh, man, what if I didn't? Or what if I did? But then I had to stop myself because, as a competitor, man, every time I go out there on the field, man, I've been blessed, to, play this game. And whether we're up by 20 or down by 20, which I've been down by a lot, in my career, especially early on, I always just want to be out there, man, and glorify God with the talents he's given me, So any chance I can be out there, for my teammates, for our fans, for my coaches, whether we're up or down, I just want to be out there. So I don't look back and regret it, But obviously looking back, like, well, if I wasn't in there, I wouldn't have broke my ankle, But at the same time, maybe it was saving me from something worse.
Derek, one of the things that jumped out to me when I started watching you, and at this time you weren't winning a lot, but you were very talented, and I was watching how engaged you were with your teammates and your coaches, and that's a big thing for me. You were very authentic. You were very energized. And this is when you weren't, everybody was like, Derek Carr's great. It was like, is this kid out of Fresno going to work? And I kept telling my audience, this kid, there's a magic here. And so I'm watching the Facebook Live situation with the Steelers where there's in the locker room and you got a player talking. Sometimes being a leader, Derek, is tough because sometimes being a leader, you can say things and confront people, and people don't like confrontation. And I'm sitting to myself thinking, well, what did Derek Carr do? If in the locker room after a game, you got a guy on Facebook Live in that locker room, how do you be a leader in that spot without ticking off a teammate?
Yeah, it's a tough deal because, with how new this stuff is becoming, it's not really something that we address. It's not really something that, hey, don't get on Facebook Live after games kind of thing. It's so new, and it's just so, and like you said, he got caught up in the moment, and everybody understands why. He's won the AFC Championship. But, for me, it's just one of those things that you just kind of, as a leader, you go to that guy and you say, hey, man, that's probably a little unnecessary right now. Especially, I think Coach Del Rio has done a good job of, just, teaching us what's Raider business and what's not. And I think our team just has a good feel of that kind of stuff, so. It's hard to address because it's so new. So, there's nothing against the coach or the players on that team, the leaders on that team. It was such a new thing, and it turned into something that, really, is it a big deal? Yes and no. But at the same time, as a leader, now that has been addressed, now that has happened, kind of just put your foot down before it even happens.
Two-time Pro Bowler, Derek Carr, Raider quarterback. So here we go, Super Bowl, and Mr. Tom Brady's in it again. I mean, obviously there's a lot of stuff to you say, oh, he does this. But is there one thing about Brady? He's from the Bay Area. You're playing in the Bay Area. Played in Fresno. So you obviously know his history. Is there one thing about Tom, Derek, that you emulate or you're kind of blown away by?
I think the one thing when I was in college, I would always watch Aaron Rodgers. I tried to, obviously make my game like his, getting the ball out quick with the quick release, extending plays. Making those wild throw kind of deals. And, then, the way Peyton controlled the line of scrimmage, I tried to emulate that, and, the way that he ran the show at the line. And then with Tom, it was his competitive drive, the fire in him. It was okay for a quarterback to yell and get excited and headbutt his teammates and things like that. And it's just, it's just something that, I tried to, I didn't want to just follow one guy. I wanted to get something that I thought was the best quality that they all had.
Yeah.
And to me, I think Tom's competitiveness and that fire, that drive, shows his teammates that he's just one of them. I see him trying to cut block people at 38, 39 years old. And, I remember in college, I saw him trying to block people. And so I went and tried to take out a defensive end for my teammates. And I think that was their favorite moment of my career, So it's just little things like that, man, that can show the guys that you're just one of them.
This is so odd because you obviously were such a big part, but when you're the leader of a team and then you get hurt, like, what do you go through mentally? Were you upset with yourself, which, of course, you got hurt. There's nobody's fault. But what is it like to be there in the playoffs, so hot, you're the guy, and then it all ends with one hit?
Yeah, it was very hard on me, because not only do I, feel like I'm blessed to be able to play this game, not only am I, do I love my teammates and my coaches and all those things, I just love playing football. Ever since I was a kid, as I got better and as I got stronger, I began to, fall in love with the game. So when I'd have to sit there on my couch, the other part was not being able to go to games. That was awful because, I was still thinking, maybe if we go to the Super Bowl, I'll be able to hobble on it out there,
Right.
And I can't go on these trips because the swelling would put me back days and weeks. And the hardest part for me was sitting there and not, obviously not being able to be out there on the field and compete with my teammates. But the hardest thing for me was not celebrating with them. The hardest part for me was not when they had a bad play, being there to have their back. That was the hardest part for me because I would sit there and see these guys getting frustrated and I see them just go walk off and, a couple of guys would pat them or whatever. But the hardest part for me was not being able to be there to make sure that they were okay for the next play.
Your GM, Reggie McKenzie, says extending your contract and Khalil's contract is a high priority. Peyton Manning is taking a couple pay cuts. Players to play with LeBron did. Tim Duncan did. You're in a salary cap league. Will there be a point if I said to you, okay, Derek, you can make $24 million a year or $22, but you get a better outside linebacker? How does that play for professional athletes, if that was ever asked?
Oh, yeah. I think it's everybody's situation is different. I'm obviously a team guy, first and foremost. There's no, number 4 without the rest of the team. There's no doubt about that. I'll never be sitting here saying I'm better than I am or anything like that because I know that I'm nothing without those guys. So I'm always a team guy. But at the same time, they had 3 or 4 years of the rookie contract too,
Yeah.
To build a team and things like that. And then I just start thinking about my family.
Sure.
Thinking about my boys, thinking about all the people, in Haiti. I have a heart for Haiti that I could help. I think about all the churches that I'm attached to and all the people that could help. And that's what motivates me. It's not for me. I wear the same clothes that I had since college, and I wear all the free stuff the Raiders give me. So it's not about that stuff to me, but it's about helping people. And so obviously I'm not greedy. I'm not anything like that, but it'll just come down to what we all agree on, but I am fired up about it because it's going to help a lot of people.
Well, we got to run. I don't know if you're going to be in Oakland or Vegas these days. I'm not quite sure what it is, but either way, you're going to be absolutely amazing. And Derek, we'll see you in the training table wearing Raiders swag. Apparently, you keep wearing that, and good luck to you. You're a treat to watch play, man. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.